And we do finally get enough money for that potion petition. So that is a big step in the right direction. A lot of smites coming in, but I was hoping that Fulminant Prism would do the Lord's work for us here. Fantastic. And then we didn't leave anything too dangerous on the floor above, right? Because I think I'd prefer to deal with this son of a gun by just getting the heck out of dodge. I guess we could have tried to close the door in your face. That also kind of works. And then with the extra space now available to us here, that leaves me feeling a bit better about once again engaging the landmine strategy. And that is just lovely. And I guess now that everything is very much castable, let's take another peek in our book here. IMB is on its way, so I will gladly take that under my wing. Again, maybe training a little bit of translocations just to bring down its failure rate and bring up its spell power nice and early here. And now we've very much settled into the steady state of the Conjurer start, where we have those beginning spellbook spells memorized here, and that should be able to bring us all the way to Lair as long as we are slightly cautious and don't do anything too stupid. We could also, now that I think about it, use this as an opportunity to swap over to that robe that we picked up. So maybe we will do so. Why, hello there, my friend. So, we don't have quite as much space this time around to deal with you. But I'm still very much tempted to. For the time being, let's try and clear out some space. The main issue here is we have no idea what lies up this direction, and when things could possibly just take a horrible turn for the worst in terms of seeing, like another two-headed ogre come from the opposite direction. That would be, less than ideal, to put it lightly. Oh gosh. Hello there, my friend. My bad. Did not mean to draw your ire and attention. If we could just walk right this way, at least we don't have to worry about random energy anymore, so we can relatively safely just slowly but surely make our way back to the stairwell. And third time's the charm, let's go for the safety hall again. Oh gosh, that's a bit close to the last known whereabouts of one two-headed ogre. There you are, you son of a gun. Speak of the devil. But again, we should be in a slightly better position to kite them once again this time in our usual routines, so we will do so. And as long as nothing terribly unexpected happens, that should be another huge bit of experience thrown our way. In point 30, the Kiku feels less appealing for Mummy as they have innate faith, so it makes gods with more PD spam more interesting, like Nem, Oka, or Mac. Definitely makes sense. I mean, still, if you're going Necromancer, it doesn't hurt to keep going in that direction. And I guess with all of these yaks, I can probably do a little something like this. Try and knock you back into my Prism Blast. Wonderful. Just fantastic. And now we can do a little bit of that. Beautiful. Again, good amounts of experience for us early on here. We can just keep on keeping on. Tempted to keep experience around, but I think we can kill you with Syrian Ray, even with our limited MP. Fantastic. Of course, the big rub there is we generally want to keep enough magic points around to cast IMB so we can always regain that gap of space and potentially give ourselves the option of running away without dealing with, constant attacks of opportunity. But it all is working out so far for us here. I also do need to remember that I have those Curari darts, so if we do find ourselves in a nasty scenario with another two-headed ogre or something of that ilk, then we can definitely try to take advantage of that as best we can. Yeah, do I try the Robe of Clouds? It does bring us up to 9 AC, which is a huge amount for a mummy caster this early in the game. So with that in mind, maybe I will. Again, we will be making a lot of noise, but Fulminant Prism is kind of doing that anyway. So it could be nice. Could be pretty sweet. Let's try it out. You exploded yourself with Fulminate Prism on a recent-ish run, still gotta keep learning. Oh yeah, it will definitely happen. I don't know, I'm trying to think if I've ever lethally hit myself with my own Fulminate Prism. I've definitely, oh geez, had some rough times with it. I mean, as our Felid, I distinctly remember having some almost self one-shots going on. But as long as we can avoid that, it's not the end of the world to be hit. And this seems like it's ripe to be our lair entrance here, as we're seeing all of the usual suspects. We'll actually just step away here. That gold distraction coming in clutch to give us the extra little bit of space there. And Steam Dragon is a note from me, dog. Okie dokes. I guess we have immunity to clouds now, so that should include steam clouds. So that's nice. That's actually quite lovely, now that it comes to mind. Still, we'll walk away while we're just trying to regain our mana here. And then with that, we can most likely drop something like that. Oh, look at that. I hit myself with Fulminate Prism. Whoops. Oh, even when talking about it, it seems like I never quite learned my lesson. But okie dokes, that's got to be pretty dang close. We also have a nice selection of gold now, so we should be able to potion petition a couple of times if things go horribly wrong. And we'll probably do one more dungeon floor before we start heading down into Lair and see how things are going on that side of things. Just keeping away from Radius 2 sounds like it should be very easy, but still sometimes manage to mess it up. Well, that's the thing, there are a lot of moving parts, right? Because sure, it's easy for me to stay away from a 2-gap space between me and the Fulminate Prism. But when I'm also trying to juggle keeping enemies within that 2-gap space, as well as not taking lethal amounts of damage while I'm setting all of that up, you know, it starts to add up in terms of the overall mental load. Can definitely drop an exclusion on this son of a gun for now here, and we'll try out another way and see if it's looking a little bit better off. I mean, kind of cheese you, I believe. Fantastic. And even you, my friend, should go a little bit more smoothly. Oh, I do not gain immunity to steam. Or I guess that was the ball itself hitting me rather than the steam clouds is potentially the argument that can be made there. Because yeah, okay, the steam cloud not hurting me too bad. Very interesting. But we do see that corrosive drake coming in here, so we'll quickly change gears, head over this direction, see if things are looking a little more manageable while we're at it. Of course, yeah, getting in the way definitely needs to be taken care of, and we're just about to hit all of the skill caps that we had set out for ourselves. Looking pretty good in terms of casting rate. Spell power obviously still a long way to go on the upper level, especially on IMB here. So what do we want to do? We could also start training into summoning just to have some extra bodies in our way. It does help with survivability. I guess it doesn't take a lot of training to at least get like Call Canine Familiar up and running. So that seems like it would probably be worth it at the end of the day here. Invocations for Gozag just to show that he's grown. We appreciate him. Ideally, before the end of the game, we'll have an opportunity to do just that. That sounds lovely. It is nice to, you know, show your appreciation to your deity of choice. Let them know just how much they mean to you. And perfect. You do just manage to get caught by that Fulminate Prism, my yak pal. And we will keep on keeping on here. Another Orc Warrior I'm hoping we can deal with. In fact, that looks pretty good in my books already. And before I died to some horrible decisions right away here, but looks like we're doing okay. I did want to stay at this stairwell, but it does rather at least seem like we cleared out the original Acid Drake from here, so maybe we can head back this way a little more safely. And if we're just It's nothing but reruns and crossover episodes here. We're constantly running into the same pals as we make our way through. Hello once again. At least this time we have the mana to make that orc warrior a little more manageable. Ooh. An ugly thing when I have nowhere really to run is potentially terrifying. But if I can just get a few of those early blasts off here, we should be a-okay. Oh me oh my. Yeah, let's just get you into a storm cloud real quick. Oh, another two-headed ogre. Wow, to what do I owe the pleasure, my lovely new friends? Holy moly. Welp. Let's just head right back up there real quick, shall we? That's interesting. Oh, and you're already injured by storm clouds, so I think I will go for it on the acid dragon this time. Very fortunate here. Robe of Clouds, pretty sick. Again, part of the whole reason I didn't go Quaslal is because I didn't want to constantly be dealing with every single monster in the entire known universe coming to my side as soon as we get to floors, but it is definitely helping out so far here. Okay, and Hornet. Hornet should be okay for us to deal with. We are slowed because of a miscast on Pullman Prism, which is less than ideal, shall we say. But that's looking a bit better. And if we just IMB one more time, we already hit Fighting 3. Okay, well that went a lot faster than expected. I guess Shields is another thing that we can start throwing some experience into here. And then we can at the very least pop on that buckler that we picked up and get that rolling for us. We pop in here. We just got Anguish and Ensorcelled Hibernation recently. Maybe I do want Summoning. I'm tempted to get those Canine Familiars. Okie dokie. Won't worry about it too much now. Oof. Centaur Warrior. Definitely sucks. That's a rough one. Fortunately, the usual routine of just using IMB to save our butts is no longer going to be quite as relevant. We do still have butterflies, so maybe we just read one of those and hope that the intervening bodies do enough of the Lord's work in keeping us safe here. In fact, they're at least keeping the centaur from equipping their bow, so that alone is pretty huge. Okay, as soon as I miscast Fulminant Prism, I think it's time for me to just get the heck out of dodge again. And maybe we will check out Lair. Do hear it's lovely this time of year. Okie dokes. Still not a bad start overall here. Another option we have is to start incrementing up our armor here. If we did want to swap away from the clouds, I guess leather armor no longer worth it. This brings us to 13 AC. I'd rather have storm clouds and immunity to clouds as well. Well, that's a lot of clouds in those sentences. I mean, I don't really need the cold resistance. A little bit of extra AC definitely doesn't hurt, but it should actually be okay with this approach, so let's try it out, shall we? Hello, my friends. Oh, right, water moccasins can swim. Makes sense. With a name like that, one could have thought. My bad. But let's try and blast you back into range here. Oh, Komodo dragons, also avid swimmers. Who knew? Well, in that case, we are actually going to pop up here to at least replenish our magic, and then we can potentially pop back down and just use IMB to do the Lord's work here. Oof, who do I want to prioritize? That's probably a half-decent option for us. Unfortunately, Komodo Dragon does immediately get out of the danger zone there, and by extension, the highway to it. But otherwise, doing alright here. And again, between the clouds and IMB, we should actually be relatively okay. So I might just pop up, replenish MP, almost die on my way back down, and get blasting. Ooh, a Hydra as well. To what do I owe the pleasure? An 8-headed one at that. Okay, so if I head up now, I potentially block off my access from Lair for, you know, the foreseeable future. I prefer not. If we're feeling risky, I could read a teleport and just hope to land somewhere relatively safe. Alternatively, I could try to fight these buddies for a tiny bit here. Drop some Fulminant Prism, start running this way. If things are looking bad, read teleport. I have some potion petitions available. So we have options. All of them are slightly frightening, but they do exist as things that we could potentially do. And even that one Fulminant Prism actually does a decent chunk of change on our newest friend here. So with that in mind, oops, that's not what I meant to cast. Ooh, and we're frozen. Now's the time. Let's get Haste, Brilliance, and Heal Wounds. It's a bit expensive, but that definitely leaves us with things looking a bit more castable. And there we go. We get a tiny bit of a gap. And then we pop down another one of these bad boys. And see how it all sorts out. Hydra does go down, so that's the biggest concern out of our way. We also get shields up to 4, which means we are potentially ready to use that buckler. Let's turn conjurations back on. Get a bit more spell power on that side of thing. Evocations, I guess we have a lot of roots wands. We have a few acid wand charges. So we could learn a bit of evo. Oh right, there's also that condenser vein available in the shop upstairs. Fighting could also come a bit higher than 3. The fighting of 3 idea came from a viewer over on the YouTube side of things who pointed out that it takes almost no experience to do, and it gives you a decent amount of health. It's like 10% max HP, so that is pretty solid. I'm also regretting this teleport scroll, so I'm going to cancel that bad boy right away. My bad. Keep walking into the unknown, but I was hoping this would just be a quick little loop-de-loop that I could take advantage of, and it did seem to work out that way, at least for now. And we are hasted. Oh, that's still a very bad step on my part. Well, I guess this is one advantage to having just an absurd number of blink scrolls early on, is we could just get out of here. And I think I will do just that. Okay, so an interesting start to Lair. Heck of a lot of attention right at the stairs here, which is always frightening, but did manage to leverage this into a heck of a lot of experience right away. And we can continue to do so, at least for now, especially with these other yak friends being trapped on the other side of the deep water. Absolutely love to see it. Okay. That yak was a little smarter than I gave it credit for. Did immediately recognize the threat that is the Fulminant Prism and get the heck out of dodge. Whoopsie daisies. But let us just go at it again here, shall we? Drop this to at least hit the yak, and if we're lucky, it also hits some frogs while it's at it. Never really can rely on that, seeing as how you don't really know what angles of attack they're going to take on you. But that is still fantastic, and it's looking like we've finally kind of settled out here. And we only use one of our potion petitions, so that's not the end of the world by any stretch of the imagination. And once again, we can get some of these bad boys prepped with some early damage, and that is lovely. Okay, almost back up to where we were at money-wise as well, at least back over the 800 mark, so absolutely fantastic. Ooh, and we pick up that flame wand just in time to serve up some steamed eel here. Good old unagi. Of course, we do have resistance to electricity for once here, so maybe not quite as much of a concern as it might normally be. You also hurt a surprising amount, my friend. Even with 2 pips of cold resistance, 3d13. Drives a hard bargain, hits pretty dang hard. Let's see, we have 2 and 3% failure rates. If I put on the buckler, we go to 3 and 3, and at least gain a bit of shielding, so I think that is, by and large, worth it here. Alright. I also just realized I heard my partner gain a plate out, and I forgot we have like our stack of normal plates that we just finished and they're on the dishwasher right now, so we're out of plates. And then we have our extra like holiday plates up in a cabinet somewhere. So normally when we're out of plates and she's cooking her food, because I'm the tall one in the relationship, I help her out with it. Unfortunately, I forgot to do so, so she might have had to balance on top of multiple stools to do that. Whoopsie daisies. I am a bad partner. But maybe I will run out. We're getting pretty close to where I could start getting a refill for my drink, so I can do that in just a bit here. Make sure that I haven't left her stranded without the ability to make dinner tonight. Ooh, definitely stay away from the Oak Club, and that was an all in all relatively successful lair one. I will gladly take it. Only a couple near-death experiences. I mean, even an 8-headed Hydra taken care of, you love to see it. And we're currently sitting at 30% power on Fulminant Prism. Still a bit of ceiling to go there, but otherwise feeling good, feeling happy. Fantastic. Hello there, my new friends. We can immediately start off. Okay, this 3% might have been worse than I had in mind, turns out. Very unfortunate luck in that regard. We can definitely at least just sit here and heal up for the time being, as all the attention that we garnered is sitting at the other side of this wall. So hey, at least it's kind of like the vaults, where we can take a peek, decide if we're at all confident in our ability to deal with it. And it's looking actually relatively okay, all things considered. Boulder Beetle, on the other hand, not looking that okay. Hate that. But it will roll into my prism, and then promptly lose sight of me. Hello? There you are, my friend. Oh, I guess you might have rolled directly into my prism now that I think about it. But not this time. Instead, we do this. Nice sneaky way of dealing with boulder beetles, of course. Can immediately place down Fulminant Prisms, and as long as we don't fail to cast it, that's a free block of a rolling charge. Still have a lot of health on this bad boy, so that I kind of hate to see. And I don't have enough magic to place another one. How fast do you roll, my friend? Faster than expected is the answer. Maybe I root you? And again, for good measure, and on top of that, we'll swap on over here and let's get those Curari darts that we picked up sorted. And to save my bacon once again here, we'll drop one more of those. Oof, that hurt. That hurt quite a bit. At least have an IMB up. Oh no. How bold am I feeling? I mean, I definitely don't want to take the roll to the face. I think that's just a guaranteed death. But what I could do is blink to the other side of these two and rely on killing them. Alternatively, I guess I could use Constriction with the Wand of Roots, but that didn't work out quite as well for us last time. So again, let's, in the essence of not dying with 4 scrolls of blinking in my inventory, let's pop over this way. And then we'll follow that up with a bit of, a healthy dose of fear. And get the heck out of here real quick, shall we? Okie dokes. Slightly frightening, slightly terrifying even. But not the end of the world here. And hopefully we've now cleared up most of this kind of south side of the starting room and can potentially be a bit more comfortable in getting away with things here. Like starting off with a couple of well-placed Fulminant Prisms that will, by and large, deal with all of our new friends here. And except for you. My bad, my bad. Let's try that one more time with feeling. Feel a bit more experienced. And looking good. Oops. Let's swap off our Curari darts so I don't just mulch those like mad here. Back to just magic dart. That's a bit more what I had in mind. And just walk up to our centaur pal. And not too shabby here. Things are going relatively smoothly, all things considered. I would like to have these set up in advance so that even if I start to be petrified here, we have some at least minor insurance. I guess we also have the storm clouds, now that I think about it, which do help out even when we are turned to stone, so that is just fantastic. And a +2 cloak brings us over the 10 AC barrier here, even up to 12 with the extra rounding. Fantastic. Why do we have multiple centaurs? I mean, they are, I guess, half animal, or half wild animal. Humans are animals at the end of the day, but still not generally an enemy I expect to see over this way. So how about that? And again, hello, my friend. Oh my gosh, you got hit by a storm cloud and still just no idea where it came from. I guess if I got hit by lightning just out of the blue, I wouldn't necessarily assume there was some kind of spellcaster who had my number. So maybe it's more fair than I was giving it credit for. Sorry, Centaur. I did not mean to insult your intelligence unfoundedly. But fantastic. Another spellbook as well. Gravitas, Teleport Other, and Dispersal. Not too exciting for me. Definitely not exactly what I was looking for. I'm hoping that we get lucky. Ooh, Vandermeer. That's fantastic too. But I'm hoping we get lucky with maybe like some ignition. Would give us a nice goal to work towards, a good target in the background. Because again, we should be good throughout all of Lair with our current repertoire, so I'm not too concerned about that. Even higher level summoning would give me a bit more of a reason to start heading off in that direction. I guess higher level conjuration, like some Iron Shot, not bad. Spellforge Servitor would be huge. Orb Destruction. I mean, I guess the list does just go on and on at the end of the day here. Many, many good options. So let's hope that we find a couple more spell books in the near future so that we can, you know, start at least thinking about that, planning out our next moves. And Hydra should definitely go down. Wonderful. And we'll just keep mopping up the remaining enemies on the floor here. Wait, what? Excuse me? Shoals? Why are there snakes here? Oh, never mind. Sorry, I take it back. Excuse me, DCSS. I should not have doubted your ultimate wisdom here, your holistic approach to Door Guardians. Everything makes a bit more sense now. And okie dokie. Ultimate Prism getting constricted in its final moments. It can't be a great idea to constrict the Tesseract of undulating energy, you know? That seems like a minor error in judgment, if I had to guess. Maybe they know something I don't, but definitely would not be my first choice. And should be able to once again take care of our Hydra friend. And do we now have entrance? We do have entrance into this wonderful room of adventure. Many new friends to be had, of course, and should be all relatively within our realm to deal with, especially if we just pull out some well-timed Fulminant Prisms to assist us in said efforts. Fantastic. Oops, cast the wrong spell there temporarily, but not the end of the world. We'll blast a few of these down. I also just heard the microwave beeping off, so it turns out my partner did risk life and limb to get a plate down. Again, my bad, my bad. You've heard of Weirder Kings? You know, that's fair enough. It'd definitely be good for, like, adrenaline junkies, I feel. Definitely a bit of excitement in your life, to say the least. So maybe once again, I've spoken too soon without thinking through the ramifications of just what it feels like to hug that energy close and feel it absolutely obliterate your atoms. Though I somehow doubt that was the overall goal for our friend here today. At least one would think. Okie dokie. Just about done with this floor as well. And again, things went pretty smoothly. We didn't even have to end up finding new stairwells to go down. I mean, I really liked this start. I feel like this was very fortunate to have a lovely closed off room here, especially with mostly animals on the level, so we don't have to worry about them busting down a door.